that and stop sharing screen. And let me do the gallery view.
Looks like we're live now. Is that accurate?
That would be accurate. We are live.
Excellent. I cannot see the chat or anything. Can you see it?
Yep,
okay.
I'm headed over there right now. And we should be able to hear and see people momentarily. And then what I'm going to do, as soon as I can see the chat, is share this over on my channel.
Okay.
And then my peeps can join. Yeah, there we are. Okay, got it.
Everybody, we're just getting set up here. Thanks for your patience.
Just need to find a way to mute myself so I don't have to hear myself back in my ears. Create post. End of 2020 update. Emily, come join us. Perfect. All right. Welcome, everybody.
Yes, welcome everybody. I just want to, just full disclosure, I cannot see the chat, everyone. So because of the way that we were able to make this work on live with Zoom. So Kay Moon can see the chat. I cannot see the chat. So I apologize if you're asking me a question and I do not answer. I thank you all for being here. Whoever is on the, I was about to say on the call, on the video now. So thanks guys. What we're gonna do today is actually something special. Kay Moon is joining us. A lot of you know her, I noticed, because you commented on my post last night that you know and love her. I absolutely know and love her as well, trust her very much, really respect her work. And I'm excited to have her here to help us do our energy update. And we're going to actually look further than just this week today. We're going to look all the way to the winter solstice. So really the next few months. We're going to see what kind of energies are coming up, because wow, has this been an intense summer. A lot of you guys know that I've been going personally through a lot of things, and just for those of you who have been asking about me and checking on me, one of my pups did pass away on October 1st. So, so that has been kind of obviously very emotional for me, very difficult, and the closing of one cycle there in my life. So that's where I have been. And I know a lot of you have been going through similar type cycle closing, huge groundbreaking, rule breaking, belief breaking type things in your lives. And we want to see how the energy is hopefully going to be shifting. But I also have Kay on here because she's going to be offering something really interesting coming up here soon. And Kay, before we get started, are you okay if we do a little bit of an interview?
Yeah, I'd love to answer any questions about the energies or about anything you want to know.
Very cool. Very cool. So maybe
and thank you for sharing that. I just want to confirm though that people are here and they're saying they're sending you lots of love and big energy for the transition of your pup. They're all very
you, everyone. Sorry, I'm getting emotional. I really, really appreciate that. This has been one of the hardest times in my life. So thank you. Whew, breathe. So And Kay, she's just such a soul sister to me. And we got to have a great talk yesterday and a little bit of a cry about all the things going on. So, Kay, I'm really glad you're here to bring your energy to all of my followers. And I wanted to start by asking you to talk a little bit about how you see astrology working. Some people say that the stars are destiny. Do you feel that that's true? How does this work so that people can understand where you're coming from when you start to talk about it?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I'll just kind of pull up a chart. I'll share it because I do have a chart that we can look at while we talk. I don't believe that the stars are destiny. I believe that there is fate. There are certain events that are indeed fated. There's also free will. And there are events that, probably were pre-chosen prior to us coming into this conversation in this lifetime. And those events, we can't always change those. However, we can choose what we do in response to them. And those are the forks in the road. Those are the moments when the energy asks us, which road are you going to take? And from there, a whole new set of things could be unfolding for us. So I believe that free will trumps destiny all day, every day, twice on Sundays, as the saying goes. And what we have in front of us here is a little chart of, all the stars, the planets, the asteroids that I read that can bring in an energy. They provide an invitation, but it's up to us whether or not we're going to go to the party.
Understood. That makes a lot of sense. And that really drives a lot with how I feel about astrology and even in tarot and all kinds of methods of kind of understanding the patterns of the universe. So now, one of the reasons we're doing this today is that I know that you're launching a class so that people can learn some astrology with you. I know it's been in high demand. People have been asking for it. Can anyone learn, or is it beginners, or is this for people who have a lot more, more advanced knowledge? Who is this for?
Yeah, I am launching an astrology class called Star School, and it's both designed for the beginner who wants to learn how to read astrology. That chart I just showed you, if it looked like complete crazy and you're like, I don't even know where to start with that, I will be teaching you how to interpret some of that. And I'll also be teaching those of you who are more advanced precisely how to interpret a chart for someone you love. I really specialize in the astrology of divine counterparts, whether you call it twin flame, twin soul, soulmate, divine connections. That's really my wheelhouse when it comes to astrology. And I'll be teaching folks who are in a divine connection how to interpret what they're seeing in the stars about that connection.
Amazing. That's really awesome. I think there are a lot of people out there who've been wanting that. So I'm excited to kind of present that here to my folks. Now, I know there's Star School 101 and 201. What are the differences between those?
Yeah. So for those who are curious, you can find the Star School information over here at my website. It's kmoonastro.com. And I think, Emily, you have some information you're going to stick in the description box that
Yes.
will allow people to link to it. But you can look at this square here. It says Star School. 101 is just, straight up basics. How do I interpret a chart? 201 is how do I dig deep into my compatibility and, complexity patterns with another person? How do I more deeply understand the seasons and our connection, since many of these connections are long-term and for life? How do we understand where we're at now and where we're headed? And then how do we also understand some of the asteroids in 201 that I read? Most of astrological history comes to us in the context of male history, because men have been the scholars in most of the, long-standing kind of academic programs, I should say, women's voices have really been kind of relegated to the side. It's been the same in astrology. And so what I'm doing in 201 is bringing some of the feminine voices back. We're going to have a conversation about the asteroids and who they are, which women they are, what aspects of the goddess they represent, and of ourselves they represent, so we can really understand what's coming in our connections and how to work with those energies as they arrive.
Amazing. Amazing. That's really exciting. So obviously people can find out about Star School by going to kmoonastro.com. And I will put this information in the info box below at some point after we're finished here so that you guys can easily find it. But you can see it now on the screen and you can get more information there. And I heard that you have a giveaway going on for Star School. What do my followers need to do to enter that?
Yeah, so I would love to offer the folks who are listening here the opportunity to enter to win a full scholarship for Star School 101 and Star School 201. There will be a link below this video, but I'm also going to show you now how you can enter. You want to go to bit.ly, bit.ly. I'll just quickly show that on the screen in a moment. Here we go. You want to go to bit.ly and you want to enter your first and your last name, enter in your email, and then, let's go back. You want to enter in what channel you heard about Star School from. You'll find in this list Emily Gear. And once you are there at the bottom, one of the things that I, love about, talking with Emily, collaborating with her, we spoke yesterday, we'll speak again at the end of the week. Like, Emily's one of my favorite readers because no matter what she's channeling, I know she's really tapped into the cosmos because I can always track what she's saying back to the stars. And this is what I actually really love about all of her energy updates, because she gives me this expanded view of how to interpret what I'm seeing in the stars. And so that's what I've learned from her. But just below which channel did you hear about Star School from, you'll see a question that says, what have you learned from watching Emily? And if you could share what you've learned from watching her, it doesn't have to be about this broadcast. It could be, many of you have watched her for some time. If you can share whatever has been resonant for you, whatever you've learned, that would be fantastic. You have 24 hours from the time of this live broadcast. So tomorrow at roughly 5 o'clock Eastern, 3 Pacific, I'm going to close the giveaway, and then I'll be announcing winners for Star School. And there's 2 spots for full scholarships for both 101 and 201. And the way you can fill out this form is just by entering in bit.ly/Star School. It does have to be all caps in order for you to access this form. You've got 24 hours, and just subscribe to my channel and I'll go ahead and announce winners there. I will also be contacting winners directly so you'll know who won.
Amazing. That is so awesome. I'm very thankful for you offering that to my followers. Hopefully one of them will get selected. So that's very cool. So let's move on to the reading, to the energy update. And what you're going to be doing, or what Kay's going to be doing, everyone, is a little bit of like what she was just talking about, where I will be doing my usual update, and she will chime in with her insights when appropriate. Does that sound good, Kay?
That sounds great.
Okay, awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to connect up to source. I like to do that in a very specific way that I use when I am doing theta healing. And so I'm just doing that right now, drawing my energy back up through the earth, sending it all the way up, away from the earth, leaving the solar system, going up through light and dark layers, passing through the fifth dimension, collecting up all the unconditional love there, moving through the sixth plane where all the laws are, moving through the trap door to the seventh plane, into the bright, bright pearlescent light. And moving deeper and deeper and deeper into that plane. Okay, until I'm connecting now. I just want to ask Source to share with us whatever insights we need to have for this moment through the winter solstice. What insights will help us from this moment through the winter solstice of 2020? Let's see what comes out. The Wheel of Fortune. So we definitely did detect a big change in the King of Cups. To come out here, oops. With the Magician. Okay, so Wheel of Fortune, King of Cups, Magician. And actually there's a huge wheel here in the Magician as well. I'm actually hearing that we need to be really conscious of where our feeling energy is, because that is strongly creating our realities. And that's true all the time. But I'm really feeling like this is especially strong now, or at least over the next few months, this manifestation energy, and that you can change your life with this energy, or you can, you can change it toward more alignment, or you can change it toward less alignment. So we need to be really aware of what we're doing with our thoughts, but also our emotions, because the energy of our thoughts will affect our emotions. What else am I feeling here? I do feel like, here's the Wheel of Fortune. You can see this woman who's sort of in grief. And then there's another woman here who looks like she's more in a state of joy. For some of you, this means that you're going out of a sort of wintry period into a more, I want to say, like maybe fertile period, or something that feels more like celebration, like the idea of the cornucopia. For others of you, that this is a choice that you will have to make to move from this energy of like despair or fear into this energy of seeing the abundance that you already have at your disposal. But it's coming in through an emotional channel. See if there's anything else that wants to. Yeah, okay, Five of Wands is the next card that I pulled. And there definitely might be there's a lot of internal struggle. You're going to have to make this choice to be in this energy, or it's not going to take off with the strength and with the same kind of strength. And that is really showcasing your personal power, believe it or not. It feels annoying because you just want to be able to like move forward and be happy, but this is really the crux of your personal strength, where you make that choice as an individual. No one else is making you do this. No event in your life is forcing you to be a certain way. You choose. It is your power, your free will. Okay. That's what I'm getting here. Anything you want to add, Kay?
Yeah. Wow. From the moment you started talking, I was like, every freaking time, this woman is so spot on. it always blows my mind, but that's precisely the passageway we actually just entered into. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah. And you and I didn't even get the chance to talk about this when we spoke yesterday, I don't think, but what's happened, as I mentioned, I really specialize in divine counterparts. The divine feminine has moved out of where she's been in an 11-month stay in the sign of Libra, which is a sign of balance. It's a sign of partnership. It's also a sign of equality and equity. And she was there for 11 months, which is unusual for her to be in one place for so long. She's actually going to do the same thing next year in the sign of Sagittarius. However, the divine feminine then moves through the sign of Scorpio into the passageway and pops out on the solstice here in Sagittarius. Sagittarius is all about truth and freedom and our highest of high ideals. The scorpionic energy, though, and where she's going to rest, and she just got here, she's at the 3rd degree. The scorpionic energy is the energy of change and transformation and transmutation, literally turning lead into gold, making it so that it is unrecognizable from its previous form. The caterpillar goes into the scorpionic cocoon, comes out a butterfly. It is not technically a caterpillar any longer. And so in this passageway, all of our feminine energies, whether you're in a male or a female or somewhere in between type of body, all of the energy within us that is feminine, that is receptive, that is creative, is going to move through this passageway of learning how to call energies in and create in a very new way. And to your point, Scorpio is water. There's that King of Cups you were just talking about, or Queen of Cups, was it?
King of Cups.
King of Cups. There's that scorpionic energy there asking us, okay, you're going to need to feel it in order to create it. Choose your feelings wisely. Choose where you're putting your attention. And take this opportunity to release feelings that have been pent up, stored up from this 11-month cycle. Drop them off at the recycling center. We don't need them anymore. But the only way to do that, to transmute them from one thing into another, is to process them all the way through. So this passageway is a period of time where we're going to feel a lot that we probably haven't felt, or that's been stuck in the emotional craw. Those things will process all the way through so they can come out the other side, and we can be reborn at solstice once we get into the Sagittarius energy. The masculine energy is going through a similar dance. I read Jupiter as the divine masculine. The masculine energy has been dancing all year with Pluto, which happens to be the ruler of Scorpio. Again, hearkening back to that King of Cups energy, that transformation through emotions energy. The masculine energy dancing here with Pluto through between now and the end of the year. There's been a dance going on all year. We have the final conjunction point at 11/11. We had a conjunction point on June 30th, and we had another one back in March where they sat at exactly the same degree. On 11/11, they'll sit at the same degree for the last time this year, which is very rare. It's part of what's made the year's energy so heavy. Pluto rules transformation and that death, afterlife, and resurrection cycle. Our masculine energies are going through a process of transforming and becoming that which they could not be before by dying to that which they had been before. So everything that you just channeled is spot on with what I'm seeing here in the sky. And this is why I love and trust you as a channeler, because you're always so tapped into the cosmos. You're always
awesome.
So tapped into precisely what's happening with what you channel. And it just adds that extra dimension of interpretation that opens up things for me and my intuition. So thank you for that.
Oh, absolutely. That's so cool. So I started pulling more cards, and I just want to clarify my question to Source, and that is just, what else do we need to know? And I pulled out the Ace of Wheels, and here's that wheel again. Well, this deck, full disclosure, is called the Golden Wheel. So there are lots of wheels in this deck, but this ace looks very much like the Wheel of Fortune. The Ace of Wheels. What else do we need to know about this time period? 10 of Cups. And the 9 of Cups. Wow. Okay. So the Ace of Wheels, the 10 of Cups, and the 9 of Cups. This I'm really getting is that, honestly, things are what you make them. You essentially have to choose to turn over that new leaf, to start that new beginning, to plant that new seed, not to use really stereotypical tarot language when talking about the Ace of Pentacles or the Ace of Wheels in this deck. But what it feels like to me is, okay, this can be you, this 10 of Cups, this 9 of Cups, but you've got to make that effort. It's not going to change for you otherwise. And kind of feeling into some of this stuff. You know, there is so much anxiety that's coming up in me right now. And it feels like it's much bigger than my personal anxiety. It feels like societal anxiety, global anxiety, just anxiety everywhere. And it's as if, again, it's almost like we've traded in the ability to be in the space of happiness and fulfillment for dipping down really low into this anxiety because for whatever reason, it's so in front of our face. And again, we need to make the choice to turn the face away from that and to plant the new seed so that this new sort of I want to say prosperity, whatever this is, well, you just said the word rebirth. This rebirth can occur. Now, we don't have the death card here, which would literally mean to me rebirth, but the 10 of Cups has birth in this card. And I feel like we've been longing and wishing for this transformation of ourselves into the new, or out of whatever this period of dead and death is. Whatever that looks like for you, whether it's going through this whole COVID mess or going through literal death in your life, or a major transition in the way that you interact with society or the world or your relationships or whatever. I feel this hoping and wishing that it will change, but I also feel like we've not quite stepped into the power of making the change. And that is so much of the energy that I'm getting for the next few months. And it is a time of self-empowerment, even if we feel like it's coming about through situations that feel disempowering sometimes. But it's meant to show you that you do indeed have some kind of power over it. I'm also hearing, and that's not in the cards, but I am also hearing that your power is in your surrender to the divine, to source, to the natural order, to the natural law, whatever that is for you, however that kind of resonates for you. That it's not about taking power in a really masculine sense where you are forcing yourself on something or forcing yourself into something or whatever. It's more about surrendering to the larger wheel, the larger flow, again, the Wheel of Fortune, or surrendering into the growth process. Like, you don't necessarily have control of every detail there, but you have control of choosing to be in it. And then it is much larger than you are. The growth happens whether you make it happen or not. You just need to make that choice to be there, to be in that space, to go there, to want that, to manifest that, to dream that with your 9 of Cups, to feel that with your King of Cups. Is that making sense?
It's totally making sense to me. And everything you're sharing is really resonating with what some folks have shared in the chat that they've been going through.
Oh.
Mylene had shared that there was she had a day when everything was really flowing and everything was moving and it was open. And then boom, the very next day, splitting headache, all of this despair energy. And she was recognizing that some of it wasn't necessarily hers, that it was in the collective. There were other people's energies hitting her. And so, there's this, and she's, recognizing that there's this death of the matrix energy going on here. And I'll just echo as well that, both that scorpionic passageway that the divine feminine is moving into and that dance with Pluto that the divine masculine is doing, the sign of Scorpio and the planet Pluto are all about power. And in a year like this, in a moment like this, where there's so much outer constriction, our true power comes in the receptive and feminine act of surrender, of allowing, of being in that place of non-resistance, of being a yes to whatever there is that's happening, as opposed to completely rejecting it and trying to get it to not happen. The power comes when we can, instead of trying to reject the river, take its power and current in and then redirect it as our own.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's exactly the kind of energy I'm getting. And actually I pulled temperance in that space. This is it's just a really weird temperance card. It's almost hermit-like, and it's temperance because it's got the two jugs here. And to me, I'm so sorry. They know it's almost dinner time, so they're going to start barking. To me, it's a very similar energy, because the energy of temperance is really about kind of a balanced flow. And it's about sort of almost like an inspired flow, as opposed to, sorry guys, it's Joey. As opposed to, forcing anything, but it is so inspired, and it's almost magical. It's like blessings abound. But there's something about this card. There's something about this card that feels really, I want to say it is like the sort of that moment of rebirth out of the depths, out of the pain or the suffering or the difficulty, and that we do it through a process of recognizing the pain and the hurt, the shadow, and allowing that to balance with the what's the word I'm looking for? It's almost like a more the self that is ready to be reborn, to move forward, to recognize that there is life after this. So it's having those two halves, those two parts, and building upon that with the Three of Wheels coming out here as well. So it is a process or a time of building, I think, and a time of huge growth and equalizing within yourself. And it's a lot of spiritual up-leveling, a lot of spiritual growth that's happening. Also with the appearance of the hermit here. It almost feels magical to me. I don't know why I'm getting that vibe.
The magician was there earlier.
That's right. The magician is here. The magician is here. This is internal, though, with this temperance card. I'm just getting a lot of internal growth and a lot of movement and growth in the energy and the emotional state and the just really trying to understand what I'm feeling. I think you're all coming out of this baptized new. I'm getting like baptism as well, baptized new. And so all in all, that's very positive. And it just, asks us to consider where our power is in each situation. Joey, shh, oh my God. And of course the phone goes off too. Where our power really is in each situation and making the most of that, and also making the choices that we need to make so that we can move forward. We may need to wrap this up. I don't know if Joey's going to let me go on. Do you have anything else to add to what I'm saying here?
No, I think you've really hit the nail on the head with the energies. But that just kind of nails it. You know, there's that Pluto and Scorpio energy here, and it is about that resurrection cycle. So baptized anew makes a lot of sense. Thank you.
So everybody, I just want to thank you for showing up and for being here. I will post more information in the description box as soon as I have the opportunity, but I would definitely encourage you to go to Kay's website and check out the info on Star School there. Kay, can you repeat the website for everyone?
Yeah, totally. So it is Star School. You can find that over at kmoonastro.com, and I am pasting a link right now into the chat. But at kmoonastro.com, you'll be able to jump in. And then for those of you who want to enter the giveaway, I'm pasting a link to that right now in the chat as well. But if you're watching this after the live is complete, you're going to be able to find it in the description box below. Once again, you've got 24 hours from the time of this live to enter the giveaway. Once you've entered the giveaway, subscribe to my channel. I'll be announcing winners over there and reaching out to the winners directly.
Excellent. Amazing. Amazing. Awesome. Kay, thank you so much for being here. And everyone, thank you for joining us, and looking forward to next time. See everybody later.
Take great care, everyone. Bye for now.